Hi everyone, how are you today? I was perusing my Instagram and I found this post by Zentangle Art Story, and it has inspired me. Now I'm not going to be quite as detailed as this. I am sure that this is a large piece of art, but isn't this just stunning? But I'm going to take a little corner of this and be inspired by it. I love the flux. That's this one in here, or the muka. Muka and flux look so cool together. I don't know the name of this flowery pattern. I'm sure it has a name. Oop, oop, oop. Can't focus. Come on. Camera, focus. There it comes. This star-like flowery pattern. I don't know the name of that, but that one looks really cool as well. Um, but I'm just going to be inspired by it. I'm not going to copy it directly, but I'm definitely going to be inspired by it. And we're just going to do a little bit. So, oh, I'm zoomed way too far in. Camera is having a hard time. Let's do a small piece on this. It's not white. It's a light baby blue. It even has like a cloud-like pattern. The back side is white. This side is a baby blue. Interesting. Okay. Um, we're just gonna go. I think I'm going to make myself a little border as far out as I want to go, and I'm going to. I do kind of like that little star shape. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do one there, and we're going to do one here. 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to come up from here this way as a swirl, and we're going to come here kind of around like that as a swirl. Like that. Those are my flow patterns. That's where I'm going to start. And I'm going to just start with this shape. It seems to be a small something like that with pen shading. Just like that, and then from the end as well. Okay, that one and this one. Something like that. With pen shading. What's going to take the longest, because I really like that dark background, is once I've got everything drawn out, is to go and fill in behind a black, if that's what I decide to do. If I like it without it filled in, I may leave it. So I'm going to do big muka shape right here. And I'm going to do one here. And this is where I'm going to base all my other shapes off of. Like that. That's my pattern, my flow, my something like that. Something in here. Maybe coming all the way up here. Like that. I'm just playing. I'm not doing anything fancy. So maybe I should do a question. Which of the following phrases describes your relationship with your smartphone? I live inside my phone. Healthy and balanced, or technology is evil. It depends on the day. I either live inside my phone or it's healthy and balanced. Most of the time, technology isn't evil, although I must say the other day I had an issue My son is very tech. He works in the tech industry, and he had texted us and said that there was a vulnerability in the phones memo that was going around the office, and to do these certain things to turn off certain features until a patch had been done, right? Which was cool. I appreciated the heads up. I did so. I turned off that feature. I'm not a person who I use my phone as a computer. I don't use my phone that much as a phone. I rarely make a phone call. It's just I just do. I just rarely make a phone call. Most of my communications are through text or messenger or some other means. And I had no idea that this feature that I had to turn off made it so that my phone would not make a phone call or receive one for that matter. Yeah, that was interesting. I went to make a phone call, had to call the jury duty place, the courthouse, to request a change in jury duty. There are 2 courthouses within driving distance of me, and there's one I don't mind going to, and there's another one that's in a really horrible part of town that I would prefer not to go to if I don't have to. And so I usually, when I get a jury summons, I usually just call them up and ask to be moved to the other venue, and they usually don't have a problem at all with that. They just don't want you to skip jury service altogether, but they don't have any problem with you requesting a change of venue. And so I was going to call them to do that, and went to use my phone, and no signal. It said I had bars when I first picked up my phone, and then when it tried to call, it said 0. It had the this symbol. No signal. And I was like, oh, so frustrated. And I tried and tried and tried, and I could not use my phone. I thought, well, worst comes to worst, I'll just use the house phone, because that's what it's for. Yes, we still have a house phone. For just such occasions, matter of fact. I feel like it's mostly for sales calls, and we don't usually answer it, but I honestly don't want all the sales calls on my cell phone. So we keep it for convenience, just to keep the sales calls off the cell phone. And for the most part, it works pretty well. I normally don't get spam calls on my phone, although I imagine my phone's doing a pretty good job at just filtering them out before it even rings. But anyways, what was I saying? So at that moment, technology was evil, because I couldn't make a phone call. So I texted my son. Text was still working. Texted my son. He was working, but he was working from home that day. So he says, call me. I can't call you. It's not working. I said, you try calling me. He tried calling me. He couldn't get a hold of me. He looked it up in my particular phone. I could turn it back on, turn the feature back on, because he said with his company, they tend to, rather than say, if you have this model number with this, he had me go in and give him the model and stuff of my phone, and if you have this model My model was in the list of ones that were safe, that didn't need the update, that didn't have the vulnerability. So I could turn the feature back on that I had to turn off, and lo and behold, I can make a phone call. It was a marvelous thing. But most of the time, I spend my time on my phone either watching videos, one of my, or listening to podcasts at work, when I'm on break, lunch, or playing casual games. I love me a good casual game. I found one that doesn't have ads, so even though the game might not be my most favorite game, it is my favorite because it has no ads. Okay. I think I want more spirals. All right. I think I like that. Let's put a few more some things in here. Let's put another one of these flux that has the little lines like that. Anything else? You know, I really kind of like how that looks. Like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my brush pen or a fatter nibbed pen. Let's just start with a fatter nibbed pen. And I'm going to color in some of the background. Before I do that, let me get rid of all these. Yeah, there's another one. And then I'm just going to color in back here. This might take a while, so why don't we talk about something else? Let's see. We've used this whole box of icebreaker questions. We're going to put those away. And we're going to skip to the next box. Come on. Come on out of there. Ay, ay, ay. All right, that one's used. We're going to switch to this box, which also has mixed up cards, because that's what I did. I mixed them all up. What subject would you add to the school program? Which subject would you take out, and why? I would make sure that the arts were more represented, all arts. I would think that should be a requirement that you take some sort of class in the arts, whether that's you know, traditional art, drawing, painting, etc., whether that's like ceramics, sculpture, metal sculpture even, um, which may include learning how to weld. I think the kids should have more options on learning not only what things that are fun, but learning things that may be practical in everyday life. Like, would I have wanted to learn how to weld when I was young? Absolutely. Practical skill. Skilled life stuff. Basic plumbing. Auto mechanics. These things that are taught in trade schools ought to be options, at least in high school. But even for elementary, I think the arts need to not go away. I think it's important, whether it's music, dance, theater, traditional art. I think these things, they shouldn't go away. They really shouldn't. And that tends to be the first thing that schools cut when they have to cut something, is they cut art. But 100%, I think we need more classes in those kinds of things and in practical life skills. We had a class, and I thought it was the best class ever. It was called Marriage and Family. And we paired up with another student, and we either chose to be a married couple, or roommates, or domestic partners. It was sort of role play, and it was most of the class there was just two people in the partnership. It was kind of funny. My best friend and I, there was an odd number of people in the class, and so when that happens, the teacher chooses one group to be a 3 instead of a 2 group. And it turned out my best friend and I and this poor guy were a group, the 3 of us. And he was such a jerk as a person. He really was. And he wasn't doing any of the work. My friend and I were doing all the work. And we were both sort of straight A, student-driven type of people. And he was clearly a I'm just here to get through school because I have to person. And I don't give a darned, right? And so we were so upset at him that he, we told the teacher that he wasn't doing his part of the assignments. Like, the assignments would be, we would assign ourselves a role within the community. Like, for example, most people chose traditional husband-wife type roles. Occasionally they chose roommate roles, but even within the roommate roles, you had to choose like who was in charge of finance, who was in charge of domestic stuff, that kind of thing, right? And so, he had his role that he chose, but he wouldn't do any of the stuff that was assigned to the person who had that role. So, for example, if the person who was assigned the finances, they had to figure out, we're randomly assigned jobs in the real world. Like, this person pulled out of a hat that, I'm going to be a plumber and so-and-so is going to be a teacher, or one of the roommates was, or partners was unemployed, or all these kinds of things. The real world happenings that happen in life. You pulled them out of a hat and that's what you were. This is what you had to do. And so, for example, at the beginning of the class, you pulled out of the hat that you were going to, you were a plumber. Then you had to research that, what do plumbers make? What's an average salary for a plumber? And in our area. So you had to research. And then you had to come up with what's the average salary. And then you had to, as a couple, you had to decide, okay, well, this is going to be your salary. That's what you had to base your life on. Some people pulled out of the hat jobs that had considerably more salary than others. And I thought it was funny because people in the class would complain, well, that's not fair. They make $100,000 a year and I only make $40,000 a year. That's life, people. Life choices. And it was interesting because we got to learn some interesting things, some skills that as people were researching things, wow, I thought this profession made a lot of money because it seems to have a lot of prestige, but people in that profession don't seem to make a lot of money. Or I thought this profession was, this blue collar profession that seems like not a great job, right? But they make bucks, and we learned that kind of thing. Well, this poor fella, he wouldn't do any of the assignments that he had to do. He was just not good. Just not good. So, my girlfriend and I did most of the work. We did this, that, and the other, and we finally got tired of him not doing any of the work. We were doing well as a group. We were getting an A in the class, but we felt like it wasn't fair that he was getting an A because we were doing all the work. And so the teacher, we went to the teacher, and the teacher says, well, if in real life, if your partner was not pulling his or her own weight in the relationship, what would you do? How would you solve the problem in real life? He said, this is your life. How would you guys go about fixing this? And so we decided that we told him if he did not do the next assignment, we went to the teacher and said, okay, we've decided that we're giving him an ultimatum, and it's his turn to do the next assignment. And we'll go ahead and just we're not going to salvage ourselves and fix it for him when he doesn't do the assignment right, or we want to get a better grade. Whatever he does, and that's the grade we're going to get, and we're just going to live with it. But we've given him an ultimatum. If he doesn't get at least a B on the task, then we're going to file for divorce. Because that's kind of, that was my lived experience. Wasn't my friend's lived experience, but it was my lived experience that, if one partner just chooses not to engage in family and won't get a job and won't contribute to the household, that's won't get a job, but you also won't stay home and help with, and raise your own children, that kind of thing. My lived experience is that then we can do better on our own, right? It'll be harder because we have to do everything ourselves, but and income will be less. But we're doing everything ourselves anyway, and the partner's doing diddly squat. And so we're just going to kick him to the curb. And so we asked the teacher, well, is that an option? Can we divorce him? And he will have to be a person on his own, a single person in the class, and do all of his own work. And then the two of us together, acting as one mind, we can continue our part of the course and get the grade that we want. And he said, yeah, that's a possibility. So that's what we did. We divorced the guy. And my friend and I continued with the class. We got a good grade. We learned all sorts of things. We learned about budgeting. We learned about checking accounts. We learned about balancing your budget and making sure that you can afford things and don't buy things you can't afford. And if you do buy things that you can't afford, what loans are like. Sometimes the class would say, you're required to take out this loan as part of the course. And so, that's what we would do. And all sorts of fun things, right? I'm just going to give these guys a little bit of shading where I've got things overlapping, which is a lot. But it was a great class. Absolutely one of the best classes, because I learned so many wonderful life skills. How not to get into debt. If I do get into debt, how to get out of debt. What's the difference between simple interest and compound interest, and why does it matter in everyday life? How to buy a car, how to research cars and pricing, how to research homes and areas to live, how to figure out, can you afford a house? Do you have to rent? What's the difference between renting and buying a house? What are the ups and downs, the pitfalls, each choice you make in life has a consequence to it. And this teacher taught us all of these skills that have really held and kept me in good stead throughout my entire life. That should be like, you shouldn't not have this class. This class is very important. It really is. I'm going to try one of those new tortillons that I said I don't like. Where did I put them? I put them somewhere for a giveaway. Oh, up here. We're going to open one of these packages. And I'm going to try one of these. because I'm going to see if these are any good. I don't usually like them, but I feel like these might be not too bad. Oh, you know what? This is not a bad... This one's not bad. Awesome. Because it's so tiny and pointy. Anyway, that was a long rant. I hadn't thought about that class in a really long time, but it was the best class ever. And then if you stayed on, that was like part 1, and then if you stayed on to part 2, your different random life situations may have changed. You went on to family, not just marriage, but marriage and family. So, randomly you would pull out of the hat. Like, I don't remember how often, but I remember I don't think it was daily, but like weekly or twice a week or something. You had to pull out of the hat. Here's what life's given you today. And sometimes you'd have a flat tire. Sometimes you'd find out you're pregnant. And you're going to have a child. Sometimes you'd find out that, somebody in your family had passed away. And you had to deal with all these things and figure out what happens in life when these things happen. And when it got to the child care portion, everybody got assigned the little, I don't remember, did we have eggs or did we have real babies? I think we had the eggs. I think some people got the real baby. I think we had eggs. But you had to take care of your egg, That was that semester in high school. Everybody was carrying around a little bundle of egg. But you had to keep your egg safe, and you take care of your egg, and you couldn't leave your egg alone, and it had to come with you everywhere because, babies are like that. And you have to constantly care for them. And it was just one of those things, that just stuck with me. Like 40 years later, I still remember most of those lessons. So that's pretty cool. Ooh, I really like this. I really, really like this. I feel like I want to put a little color in it, though. I do. I want just a little bit of color. So we're going to open another one of these. That one I already used. I think I can go ahead and put both blues on one stump and then green on the other end. I'm writing on my blending stump so I know which stump is for what colors. But I'm going to do... Oh, no. Well... I'm going to do the green, which is kind of a yellow color, and the turquoise. turquoise and no. Oh, I didn't do this right at all. At all. I already put a green. Blue. Blue. Okay. All right. So this is the yellow and the green. And this is the turquoise and who knows what. So I got dark blue, light blue. I need to fix my blending stump issue here. I've got yellow and green. Yellow and green. I got turquoise and purple. What am I doing? I'm trying to organize myself. Do you want to fast forward through this? Feel free. I don't blame you. Okay, so I want to make, I'm going to try this green color. It really isn't green. I'm going to try it with a blue. Let's see if mixing those makes a nice green. I don't know if it will. Some of them are going to get that. Not all of them. Just some of them. And purple, yellow, green, green. I am disappointed that that green's not green. It's yellow. It's distinctly yellow. I don't have a green. What's it look like on camera? Oh, it's better on camera. Better on camera than in real life. Okay, let's try the turquoise. It's really more of a green. those a little bit. Okay. And I think I'm going to make purple flowers. I like that. Then I think I want yellow for these. Like that. Soften up just a little. Oh, I like this. I like how that went. All right. How do I want it to live? Do I want it to live like this? Like that? I like it when you can make a choice as to how it lives. I think I like it like that. Okay. Don't know what I'm going to call it yet when it comes up on the video. So I'm just going to leave it like that. That was fun. Oh, that was so much fun. I just enjoyed myself to no end. Just enjoyed myself. All right, you guys have a great day. I will see you guys on the next video, which will be on a Friday. Month is whizzing past, isn't it? All right, you guys have a really blessed day, and I will see you guys later. Go out and do something nice for someone today. Make the world a better place. Bye.